Hey there, future A-listers. So you've decided that you'd like to share your smarts with the world online with CleverBites, but you're not quite sure where to start. Well, welcome to Video Lectures, behind the scenes, an insider's guide into the tools and techniques you can use to create your video lectures and help make them a success. We're going to be taking you on a whirlwind studio tour of the glamorous world of video creation, beginning in the producer's office. Let's get started. A producer's job is to take an idea and gather all the talent needed, including the directors, writers and stars, to make that vision come true. On the big screen, it's normally a lot of work, but assuming your production is going to be a lot smaller than a normal Hollywood blockbuster, things should be much simpler. But that still doesn't mean there's not a lot of important things to consider. In preparing for your video, you'll need to think about things like what your video will be about, how you intend to deliver the content or message you want to get across, how and where you will shoot the video, who will deliver your message, what equipment you have to capture and edit that message, and other tools and content you can use to help enhance the message. It's a good idea up front to sketch out a rough project plan about how you will assemble all these and any other required elements to help make sure everyone and everything you need is in the right place at the right time. But before you start thinking about effects, shots and casting, all good stories start with their audience. Let's take a trip to the writer's room. Writers, overworked, underappreciated and a little bit maligned. It's their job to craft those choice lines and hilarious catchphrases that we all love so much. That's my 2 cents. But how they really earn their keep is by crafting a clear and concise message for the stars to deliver. In doing so, writers need to always consider who their audience is and what message or content they are trying to convey to that audience. Ideally, your video would be short and snappy, which will allow people to easily access and rewatch it when they want, to remind themselves of the content. And you want to keep this in mind as you write your script. As a rule, we'd suggest no more than 4 to 5 minutes for an individual video. This can sometimes be hard, given the complex nature of some of the subjects you're likely wanting to cover. But remember, several smaller chunks are much easier to digest than one long piece. It can be tricky to be concise when you're talking about something you know so much about. But this will be much easier for your audience to follow if you can break it down into subtopics. Given that the idea is to quickly and easily explain your topic, you should also try and make the video accessible to a wider audience by avoiding the use of jargon where possible. Try to also avoid talking about things your audience doesn't need to know or already knows. This will help keep your message clear. And if you're going to go through the effort of producing a video, you want to try and make it a timeless classic, don't you? Therefore, it's important to also try and avoid current day references to things that are in the news at the time of writing, where it makes sense to do so. It's also important to also keep in mind the additional information that you might want to show your viewers during your video, things like screenshots, charts and tables, etc. We'll cover more of this later, but having some idea of these items up front will make it easier to craft a video that moves more seamlessly from one subtopic to the next. Finally, it's always a good idea to have someone else check your script to make sure it's easy to understand and that it gets your message across. A little bit more time spent getting things right up front will help make the process run a lot smoother.